Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. We've had some bios on the watch list for trade ideas, and basically as we kind of get more towards the end of the second quarter, some of the biggest biotech events of the year actually are on tap. And so as we kind of get more interested in this group, it's just some things I wanted to point out that um, timing really matters. Okay, so when it comes to options and expiration, if you can find out as close to possible when data is due, I mean, that's really going to be beneficial, right? Because when a company just says second quarter, well, second quarter could mean April, could be May, could mean June, right? It could mean any point in May, could be any point in June. So when it comes to options and expirations, knowing when data is due is obviously super, super, super important because then you can get options that go through the event but not have to pay like a tremendous amount of extra time value that you may not necessarily need, right? Um, in that regards, Biogen with its upcoming FDA decision is interesting because there's an FDA date on the calendar, right? So there's a date out there. You already know when the decision's due by. So in that sense, it's nice because you have like a fixed date where you know that there's going to be a market moving event happening either before that or at least like worst case on that day, right? So that's why FDUFAs, especially if they're expected to be volatile, can be nice because you already know when the exact date is going to be, right? Second thing is that with some of these biotechs, they don't really get a lot of interest on the options on a day-to-day basis, okay? Biogen, it's a big name, but on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't do a lot of option volume, and sometimes the options can be extremely, extremely wide on the bid-ask spread, okay? So, especially for this catalyst, we are looking at options that are pretty far out of the money, and those even more so on a day-to-day basis don't really get a whole lot of interest in them, right? Like people aren't really focused on options that are maybe 100 points out of the money on any given day. So when it comes down to these events, you kind of need to know like 2 weeks out, maybe even like 3 weeks out, like when you want to start positioning, because then you have to kind of keep monitoring the options each day to see when the volume is better, when you can maybe start getting into it, okay? Because like sometimes there's just no volume, the spreads can be crazy wide, and there's just no real opportunity to get into it, right? But then other days, all of a sudden the volume will pick up and the bid-ask spreads are tight, and like those are the days where you want to start thinking about building a position if you wanted to play it. I mean, some people might not want to take the risk, and that's understandable. But if you want to play it, those are the days you really need to start thinking about getting involved because that's when the spreads will be decent and you can actually get, well, hopefully get better prices, right? Where you don't have to pay like these wide bid-ask spreads, all right? So, um, first of all, patience, right? So that's what I really want to stress here is like you got to be patient because I mean there'll be days where you really want to get involved, but sometimes the options just won't let you because the liquidity is not there. So you kind of need to get an idea of when the data or the event is happening, and then 2 to 3 weeks out, you need to kind of start monitoring the options for a day or maybe like a session where there's better volume, better liquidity, and you can start to get involved. Okay. So just wanted to put that on your radar as we start to get some of these more bio events coming up. And if you're looking to play them, just things to keep in mind. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading options in these events or trading options around earnings, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Hope you have a wonderful night. Stay well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.